mind blowing because, John Paul would come home every day from whatever activity he had, and he would go up to his room. He puts about 4 or 5 pillows over his head, and he just sits there, and he's, vocalizing, he's laughing, he's crying. And I've asked some of my other friends, does your child kind of go away for a while? And you're wondering, and some of them are like, absolutely, your
Yeah,
child
so
is.
for
Let him
people to
do it.
understand, the hill is just the name that they've given to the space that they go to all
Yes.
talk to each other in their minds.
Where they congregate.
What about what about spiritual things? Because Houston can see angels and demons and he goes to heaven and all these kind of things. Did John Paul experience those kind of things?
Yes, absolutely. He said John Paul is incredibly connected to the spiritual realm. So
Hmm.
he is seeing the good and the bad. So
Mm.
just be aware of that. But he
That's what
is
Katie
very
said
connected.
too. Yeah.
And this was when he was 3. And then I said, do you
Three.
he was 3. I said, is Pay okay? And he said, yes, she's surrounded by angels. He had a message from my dad, and it was, I'm sorry. And then I said, well, who is he with? And Tom Paul spelled, he's with Aunt Helen, or he spelled it Aunt X, which was her nickname. She had died a long time ago. This was my dad's aunt. So I'm thinking
Did
that's
John
so
Paul know
interesting.
her?
And then I said, well, what? No, I didn't know her. This is his friend Noah. This is what he spelled in the other room. JP told me the day before that he had to leave this world because it couldn't contain him and sustain his mission as God had designed it for him. I need to say that I heard what Libby was saying. And yes, this place is just dripping with JP. I was afraid of coming because of the tide of emotions and how my body would react. But it is like he never left and is wrapped completely around me and integrated into my energy like he never could be before. He is in us, Libby, so much more a part of us than he could possibly be if he was physically here. I love the images of that she gives me of him like playing football, but instead of tackling, he runs up and hugs people because that's it. And everyone's laughing. She
Yeah.
said he created a cabin for himself in heaven, and we have a cabin. She described it almost to the T, but it's bigger. And that I had family. She said, Libby, you had so much family trying to comfort you there. She said it was just, and your father and your stepfather were there to take him, and they had been there all week. Funny enough, I had a video of John Paul days before he died, and he was in the hot tub. I can't believe I took this video. I don't know why. And he's just looking up and smiling. And then he looks at me and he waves, and then he goes right back. And he is just, it's like he's just loving seeing whatever. And normally I would have asked him about it, but I didn't. He might have told me, but he knew he was leaving. He just didn't know when. And my dad and stepfather knew they were taking him. They just didn't know when. She said, and he swims in the ocean with manatees. She said when he died, the hot tub opened up like an ocean and he just swam away.
Swam away. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.